Ako po si Tena Rose Tendante.
At ako naman si Michael Davantes.
At kayo'y nanonood ng Mabuhay Montreal TV.
Kumusta po mga kababayan? Welcome po sa MMTV. At sa araw na ito ay meron po tayong panauhin na isang prominenteng politician na si Robert Liebman. Pero bago ang lahat, Tenny, ang dinig ko ay meron na namang bagong organisasyon dito sa Montreal. Sa dami ng mga associations, ano? Pero ito ay binuo ng mga kabataan dito sa Montreal.
Tama yan, Michael. Ito ang Filipino-Canadian Artists Associations of Quebec. At nagkaroon sila last week ng meeting at rehearsal. Panoorin po natin.
Focus on organization is to build members so that my next generation, we just don't want to end with us, the organization ending with us. We want to focus on the next generation, the youth, and we want them to join us, and if they have the talents, come here.
How do you find the members?
Well, the 70 members that we have, it's over the years. It's through channels of meeting performers, because we've done performances from 2008 to now. We've done everything. So the talents that we had met from 2008 and until now, yan yung 70 na members.
Okay. Do you focus on just singing, or there will be a dancing or trainings?
No, not really. As long as you love to perform and you have a creative side, you're welcome to join the organization. It's not just about singers. As of now, the focus are singers because that's the majority of the members. But we are willing to expand, to all areas of entertainment and creativity.
Okay, do you do guys the workshop? Do you, like you and Michelle?
We are planning to have annual workshops, training for acting, singing, dancing. We also plan to have at least three concerts a year, and in the future we are planning to continue to have benefit shows, and we want to be we want to be a bridge to close the gap between the Filipino community here and the Philippines by helping our countrymen in the Philippines. You know that they need help every day, and but better use of our talent, but to help and have concerts, for everyone, and collect funds for our countrymen in the Philippines.
Do you have a website for this organization?
So far not yet, because this is our first time, and we're looking for funding, and we're looking for all sorts of help. In the future, we talked about it. That's why we registered the organization, and so far, this concert is our first benefit concert.
Can you talk about the concert?
Well, actually, it is the second. We had the Montreal Band Aid. I think it was 2013. Yes, during the Typhoon Haiyan. We saw that the performers are willing to help and to give their talent, for a better cause. And so we said, why not do this every year? Help is needed every day. And so we organized the concert as to inaugurate the organization as well. And we have performers, volunteers that are willing to donate their time and their talents for the sake of our countrymen in the Philippines.
Okay. Do you want to promote the upcoming concert?
Yes, we would like everyone to come and support us and watch our first concert, Turn It Up, on August 22 at La Salle de Couvert, and it will be at 6 p.m.
How many times do I have to tell you? Even when you're crying, you're beautiful too. The Why you gotta be so rude? Don't you know I'm human too? Why you gotta be so rude? I'm gonna marry her anyway. Marry that girl. Marry her anyway. Marry that girl. Yeah, no matter what you say. Marry that girl. And we'll be a family.
Nanalo bilang bagong presidente ng Fama si Cora Abirin ng Samang Makabayan. Ang full report sa susunod na episode. Magbabalik po ang MMTV. Decor JFL is offering the best services in town with all your decoration needs. We are happy to serve you as well with money remittances. Service is guaranteed.
Nagbabalik po tayo sa MMTV.
At kasama po natin ngayon ang kandidato ng Conservative Party para sa riding ng Montreal.
At siya ay walang iba kundi si Mr. Robert Liebman. Welcome to MMTV.
Pleasure to be here.
You have a tremendous achievement as a politician. Why did you leave politics in 2005?
Well, it's an interesting question. When I was growing up, I never expected to be a politician. I was always wanting to be an architect for many years growing up, and I became an architecture. I graduated from McGill in 1985. I started practicing architecture, and my political career started as a bit of an accident in some ways. I felt very strongly in the 1980s about minority language rights, about Canadian unity, and I wasn't happy with some of the language laws in Quebec and the rise of Quebec nationalism. So in my 20s, I started a political party just to create a voice for members of minority communities at the time, and we gained momentum in the election in 1989, and one thing led to another, and I was elected to the National Assembly with 3 other colleagues with the political party that I organized. So my political career, my architectural career, veered into a political career much by accident at a very young age. I always had wanted to be an architect, and I spent many years in politics, both at the provincial and the municipal level. And then in 2005, after my second term had come to an end in municipal politics, I felt, you know what, maybe this is the time to get back into architecture, the profession that I always wanted to practice. My kids at the time were a little bit young, and it was a good time for me in 2005 to leave politics, go back to architecture. My kids were 16, 6, and 3, about that age, and it was a good time to get back into architecture and take a step back from politics. And
Okay,
some
in regards
normalcy.
to that, what made you decide to resume your political career?
Well, 9 years later, the circumstances seemed to become appropriate again to get back into politics. As you may know, Erwin Kotler was the MP for Mount Royal for a number of years. When he announced last year that he would be stepping down as MP, a lot of people started to ask me about whether or not I would be interested in making a return to politics for the Conservative Party. I was asked in 2011, and I decided not to run in 2011 because I didn't want to run against Erwin Kotler, and also my kids were still a little bit too young. So now, 2015, the circumstances are there. People have pushed me to run again. I decided to throw my hat in the ring because I believe also strongly in Stephen Harper's leadership. He's a leader of this country with conviction and principle. And my political career started on an issue of principle and conviction, and I was inspired by his leadership, and I decided to go for it again. I think I can win the riding this time.
But your riding is considered a liberal stronghold. How are you going to convince the community to vote this time for your party?
Well, that's the question that everyone keeps asking me. Keep in mind, in 1989, when I ran for the Equality Party and I ran in my riding of Darcy McGee, that was the safest Liberal seat in Quebec by a mile, and I still won because of political circumstances. Now, in 2015, yes, the Mount Royal riding has traditionally been considered one of the safest Liberal seats in the country, but I think people are looking for an alternative this time. I think people are looking for leadership, and when I compare Stephen Harper and his background, his credentials on economic matters, on international affairs, the fight against terrorism, and other threats of that nature, versus Justin Trudeau, who doesn't yet have strong economic credentials. I don't think he's ready to be Prime Minister of this country with some of the external threats that exist. I feel that Stephen Harper offers our country the best hope. And me personally, I've always been more conservative on economic matters and other issues, and it was a very comfortable fit for me. And I think that the riding has been getting closer and closer over the last series of elections. I think it's ready to elect a Conservative member with the experience that I have.
Can you discuss what your party has done to the Filipino communities here in Quebec?
Well, with regard to the Filipino community, there's been a very close connection There's no doubt about that. As you know, in November 2013, after a typhoon, after Hurricane Haiyan, this government was very, very helpful in providing military aid and relief assistance after the hurricane. About $90 million has been pledged in disaster relief by this government. We also have a very close trade relationship. As you may know, last year there was about $1.8 billion in trade between the Philippines and Canada. And in May, when President Aquino was in Canada, as Prime Minister Harper sat down, they discussed or initiated the eventual development of a free trade agreement between Canada and the Philippines, which is extremely hopeful and exciting. And the Trade Minister, Ed Fast, traveled to the Philippines a few weeks later in May to lead a Canadian delegation. So there's a lot of exciting news happening there on the economic front between the two countries. This Conservative government is the only government that's ever named a senator from the Filipino community. As you know, Tobias Sanverga is a prominent senator in this country, and something that the community is very proud of. Many other reasons that there's always been a close connection between the Filipino community and the Canadian government. The Filipino community in this riding, in this country, over 700,000 strong, has always been a strong, proud Canadians, very attached to their cultural heritage and traditions, and have always provided this country with a strong sense of community.
We have other ethnicities watching the show. What about the ethnic community in Quebec?
My political career was launched with the political movement I created based on a few fundamental principles: protection of individual rights, minority rights, linguistic equality, bilingualism, Canadian unity. These are all values that are shared by the minority communities in this riding and in Quebec, the fight for minority communities, the fight to have a voice within government. And that's something that I provide. I've always been a fighter for minority communities, minority rights in Quebec, and we need that type of representation in Ottawa. When Quebec presents itself in Ottawa, it's not always the cultural mosaic that's represented or considered in Ottawa. It's usually the larger picture of what Quebec represents, as opposed to really the cosmopolitan nature, the mosaic that makes up Montreal.
You have served as a mayor for Côte Saint-Luc. So as one of your rivals' housefather, what is your advantage over him?
Well, there's a very big difference. I have a lot of political experience at the provincial level as well. In addition to being mayor, I was also on the City of Montreal Executive Committee responsible for urban planning. As an architect, I have a very special feel and sensitivity towards some of the major issues that affect Montreal, Montreal's infrastructure, Montreal's urban fabric. And in the next 10 years, Montreal's urban planning is going to see a major transformation, from the Turcotte interchange, from Blue Bonnets, from the Cavendish extension, the Champlain Bridge. There's so many issues affecting Montreal's urban tissue. And me, having an architectural background, having sat on the City of Montreal Executive Committee responsible for the Urban Master Plan, I think I could provide a lot of experience and technical know-how at the table in Ottawa. Mount Royal, keep in mind, is at the geographic epicenter of the island of Montreal. So many of these issues affecting Montreal's future, economic growth, infrastructure, transformation, we need someone with my background at the table in Ottawa to really understand some of these issues in this dynamic.
Okay. Any message to the Filipino viewers or non-Filipino viewers today?
Well, sure. I think, the Filipino community, as I mentioned, is a proud community. The Filipino community, or Philippines, is one of the strongest sources of immigration to this country. Strong, proud Canadians with skills, with technical know-how. And Canada is a country of immigration, a country that wants to increase its immigration numbers. And I think that relationship has solidified over the years and should continue to be very important and very valuable. I think it's also important for the community to have a representative inside government. For the past number of years, with a Liberal representative here, it's been outside the structure of government. So some of the concerns to the Filipino community, whether it's immigration concerns, bringing caregivers, family reunification to this country, needs someone on the inside to deal with the issues in a more direct pipeline. And I can provide that as the MP for this riding, which has the largest Filipino community of most of the other ridings in Quebec.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Robert Liebman. So that's our candidate for Conservative Party for the riding of Montreal. Magbabalik po ang MMTV. Filipinas Montreal pageant will be held on September 19, 2015 at the Hellenic Community Center. For information, contact Svetlana Suarez at 514-808-2898. Welcome back sa MMTV. At then, during this time last year, ay plinano natin ang pag-uwi sa Pilipinas. Do you miss the experience?
Oo naman, Michael. Talagang napaka-exciting nung ginawa natin dahil we went to a lot of places. Talagang tinignan natin kung ano ang magandang tourist spots na pwedeng bisitahin natin at ng ating mga kaibigan galing dito sa Pilipinas.
At syempre, Tenny, ay marami sa ating mga kababayan ang namimix ang ating bansa. Kaya't narito po ngayon ang ating spotlight on vegan.
Hello mga kababayan, and welcome to the only World Heritage City in the Philippines, Vigan. Acclaimed as one of the new 7 wonder cities of the world, the city of Vigan is unique among the Philippine towns. It is the country's most extensive and only surviving historic city that dates back to the 16th century Spanish colonial period. Strolling along Calle Crisologo feels like stepping back in time. Despite wars and natural calamities, its structure remained intact, from its well-known cobblestone streets to the unique architecture that fuses Oriental building designs with colonial European construction. A short walk from Calle Crisologo is a central park named Plaza Salcedo, where restaurants and vegans' delicacy shops are found. Situated close are the Vigan Cathedral, which is an earthquake Baroque church with thick ramparts, and the city's administrative building, where I was welcomed by the city's very hospitable mayor, the Honorable Mayor Eva Marie S. Medina. A habitable heritage city of choice, Vigan offers something fun for everyone, such as the Buridec Children's Museum. Located in the historic Mira Hills Filipino-Spanish Friendship Park, it houses an interactive module where visitors can learn the city's local history, dialect, and cuisine. The museum also features the miniature Calle Crisologo complete with furnished old houses, the calesa, and dolls representing the various regions of the Philippines. Buridec is a good place for the children of Vigan to appreciate their origin and their culture. Located in Salindeg is a mini zoo called Baluerte, which is open every day to the public for free. This amusing attraction is owned by former Ilocos Sur Governor Chavit Singson. Entrance is free, and you can go around the zoo through a rickshaw driven by a miniature horse called the Tiburon Ride. It is also free of charge.
Hey! Hey!
Jars made from Vigan are sought after by foreign and local visitors, so a visit to the Pagbernayan, the iconic pottery place of the city, is a must. Pagbernayan comes from the root word bernay, which refers to the handcrafted earthenware pots made with just the use of the potter's skillful hands and use of pottery wheel and kiln. The more popular pagburnayan is Ruby's Pottery, run by National Folk Artist awardee Fidel Antiporda Go, who is very accommodating and always eager to demonstrate pottery to his visitors. Aside from pottery, Vigan's traditional craft is albil weaving. An ancestral woven product of Vigan and the Ilocos region, the albil cloth is known for being sturdy and colorful. It is made from yarns of cotton or sagot that are sourced from the many lands in northern Luzon. After the cotton is harvested, it is prepared into yarns and dyed, then arranged in a wooden handloom to create unique and various designs. You will be in awe to see the weaver's synchronized hand and feet movement when using the wooden handloom. In the Bantay district of Vigan, along the National Highway, is the St. Augustine Parish Church. Close by is the Bantay Belfry, which is highly recommended for travelers to visit, not only because of its historical and cultural importance, but also because of its perfect view of Vigan. Built in 1591, the Belfry was said to be the people's watchtower. Another worthwhile trip from Vigan is to the Santa Maria Church, which is set on a hill and reached via 83 steps. This UNESCO World Heritage listed Baroque church is not only reminiscent of the 4 centuries of Spanish domination, but also a unique structure with a diversified architectural design of bricks and mortar. For travelers who want more than just a visit to Vigan's cultural and historical sites, beaches and nature sites are also available for nature lovers. Located at the heart of the city is an environment-friendly place called the Hidden Garden. I arrived just before the sunset, so I'm glad there was still enough natural light to experience the beautiful surrounding. It is a wonderland of greenery with a relaxing ambiance. After walking around the place, you can dine in their charming restaurant that offers delicious Ilocano dishes and coolers. During the night, tourists can watch the popular vegan dancing fountain at Plaza Salcedo. This attraction is the first of its kind in the country and rivals the Bellagio water fountains in Las Vegas. Vigan becomes a romantic place at night where you can dine and stroll outside by the cozy night lights. Please visit Vigan. The city is a source of pride and inspiration to Filipinos around the world. Mabuhay ang Vigan. Ito po si Judah Jaira Cohen para sa MMTV.
Ayan, dahil nadalaw ko na Tiny ang Vigan, I hope next time ay madalaw mo rin ito.
Siyempre, nasa bucket list ko na yan, Michael. Marami pong salamat sa pagtangkilik sa aming programa.
Na patuloy na naglilingkod sa ating komunidad.
Muli po tayo magsama-sama
dito sa MMTV.